We are here to celebrate, and we have a very bold leader in Governor DeSantis who charged us with achieving more now. That's exactly what we set out to do, and it's my privilege to introduce the governor of the state of Florida, Governor Ron DeSantis.
Well, thank you so much. It's great to be here. This is a really significant achievement, one of the most significant projects that's ever been done in the state of Florida. I think everybody knows that this has been something with Everglades restoration that's been very central to what we've done since I've been governor. We sought a lot of resources, and we've gotten that and then some. We understand that the Everglades is home to a lot of great species, that it provides fresh water to Florida Bay as well as clean drinking water for more than 8 million Floridians, and it supplies irrigation for the state's agriculture. So this was something that had been neglected for too long. We needed to take the bull by the horns, and we needed to get it done. And many people, I see a lot of my friends here from Southwest Florida. We remember in 2018, that was the year I was first running for governor, massive algae blooms because the Army Corps, which, you know, they were charged to do, they were discharging water out of Lake Okeechobee that had a lot of stuff in it, and then it came in through the Caloosahatchee, out on those beach communities. Tourism got hurt, quality of life was hurt. We had similar thing in 2016 on the east coast of Florida. Places like Stewart had the discharges that impacted that. So that was a huge problem for the state of Florida, and even though we don't control when the Army Corps discharges water out of Lake Okeechobee, we had an opportunity to do things to mitigate the impact of that, and that's exactly what we've done. So we started in office pledging $2.5 billion over 4 years, which was a big increase over the previous 4. We delivered $3.3 billion over those 4 years. Then in the second term, we promised $3.5 billion. We've already done $4.6 billion, and we got more runway to go. So combined, that's almost $8 billion for water infrastructure, Everglades restoration, and water quality projects in the state of Florida, and that's making a difference. It also generates a good return on investment, and will end up producing jobs as these things continue to go. There's no question about it. So since 2019, we've reached more Everglades milestones than any time in state history. We've completed or broken ground on over 75 projects. Remember, we did the Tamiami Trail roadbed removal 6 months ahead of schedule. That's allowed massive amount of water to flow south into Everglades National Park. Also in 2021, we completed the C-44 Reservoir and stormwater treatment area to provide clean fresh water to the Indian River Lagoon and the St. Lucie estuary. Through these investments since 2019, we've now reduced the amount of harmful nutrients in South Florida's waterways by almost 750,000 pounds per year of nitrogen and almost 500,000 pounds per year of phosphorus. And so that's a huge, huge amount of number. These projects and other investments have brought our cumulative annual nutrient removal efforts to over 1.8 million pounds of nitrogen and 770,000 pounds of phosphorus being removed each and every single year. Of course, we've also led the way on the Everglades Agricultural Area Reservoir. Florida has done what it needed to do for the stormwater treatment area. Obviously, the federal government is in charge of the bulk of that reservoir. But by the end of this year, what we've done there, what we've done in other parts of the state, we will have tripled South Florida's water storage capacity to 176 billion gallons. So water is flowing south to the Everglades like never before in modern history, and you're seeing it in the salinity levels in Florida Bay. You're also seeing it in a recharge aquifer. So all that is really, really good. Now today, we're here to open the Caloosahatchee Reservoir, the C-43 Reservoir. This site is capable of storing nearly 55 billion gallons of water. You see, it's a massive, massive project. It can capture excess runoff from Lake Okeechobee and the surrounding watershed during the rainy season, but also released strategically during the dry season, and Southwest Florida asked for water to be released during the dry season, and this will come in handy for that. So this reservoir covers an area of approximately 10,000 acres or 18 square miles. We are in opening this reservoir, protecting the Caloosahatchee estuary from harmful discharges and ensuring a healthy balance of fresh and salt water, which is essential to the survival and health of our fisheries, oyster bed, seagrasses, and the entire coastal economy. This will benefit Southwest Florida in particular in a really significant way. And as I mentioned, these discharges that had happened, particularly in 18 and 16, were not done by the state of Florida. It was done by the Army Corps of Engineers. And actually, they've worked with us since 2019 on them approaching that, I think, in a more reasonable way. And I think that's made a difference. But the reality is 2016 and 2018 probably would never have happened if we had this infrastructure in place. So this really gives us, even if the Army Corps is doing discharges, gives us an ability to store water, clean water, and ultimately avert the damage that was done during those years. This pump station here at the C-43 Reservoir can move as much as 650,000 gallons of water each and every minute. And that was completed over a year ago. Now the full system is operational, and it will have a long-lasting impact for those who not only live in the area, but who visit the area. And we're also looking forward to accelerating even more projects, including the EAA Reservoir. We were down in South Florida last week with the President of the United States. The issue of Everglades restoration came up, and I had talked to him about this before, but I said, you know, let us take the reins of the EAA Reservoir. We can move quicker than the Army Corps. That's just the nature, and we really want to make progress here. He said, done, done, done. And so we're working on bringing that in for a landing. And so we hope to have a great announcement soon where we can say that the state of Florida is going to be taking the lead on bringing that project and other surrounding projects to fruition ahead of the current schedule. So stay tuned for that. But I want to thank everybody that's been involved with this. It's a major deal. Really look forward to cutting the ribbon. I look forward to seeing the site turned on. Thank you very much.
The governor mentioned that this was a big reservoir. This is 10,000 acres. Did you know that you could fit the 10 largest Florida universities inside this reservoir? You could. You see this berm, it's twice as big. There's more on the other side. You could fit UF, FSU, FGCU, FAU, UCF, USF, UM, FIU, UNF, and FAMU in this reservoir. It's big, but not as big as our next speaker, who has been a champion of Everglades restoration ever since I've met him. I'm really glad you made it, Senator, President, Representative. I've known you so many titles. Thank you so much, President Albritton, for being here.
Good morning. So I wanted to point out just a couple of things. Number one, I want to give credit where credit is due. So as many of you know, around the year 2000, the plan was put together between the state and the federal government to be able to provide for the rehabilitation of the Everglades system. And I will tell you, for years there was a meaningful amount of work that was done. Governor DeSantis, there is no question about it, had you not been the tip of the spear for Everglades restoration since you were elected in 2018, we would not be standing here today, and we would not have had those multiple projects finished up. And quite frankly, I'm honored to stand here with you today. This is a big deal. This is a big deal because, remember, at the end of the day, when you look at the layout of SERP, the program that gets us to a place to where once it is completed, the odds of there being those types in 2018, those types of algae blooms that affect our local and especially our coastal economies would be minimized substantially. Every single time, every time that we can have a ribbon cutting, a completion of a project like this, we are one step closer to being able to provide the protections for our coastal communities, making sure that our fisheries remain healthy and bountiful for those that make their living in and around the water in these communities, and it is meaningful for the future of Florida. So again, Governor, I thank you very much for your leadership. I look forward to working continually with you, and we've got another session coming up. It will be our last together, but I will tell you that we are certainly on board and will be heavily and heartily fighting for Everglades restoration, most certainly in the Florida Senate, and we look forward to providing the leadership that we need alongside of you, sir, to make sure that we are investing where it matters, we're moving the ball, we're making a difference, and we're providing for a better Florida in the future. So thank you very much for your time, and I appreciate you all being here. Thank you very much.
Did I mention this was big? 55 billion gallons can fit inside this reservoir. That means that you could fill up 73 large football stadiums, and it's the same size as this reservoir. Imagine 73 football fields in here. You could hold the high school tournament here. Absolutely. Anyway, we have great partners when we put these restoration projects together, and one foremost partner is the Florida Department of Environmental Protection. And we've got the secretary here, great champion for the Everglades, Alexis Lambert.
Good morning. Thank you, Governor. Thank you, President. Thank you, Drew. I'm Alexis Lambert, and I'm the Secretary of the Florida Department of Environmental Protection. It's an honor to join you today to celebrate another milestone in restoring Florida's Everglades. In my 8 months as Secretary, there's one thing I know for sure. When it comes to Everglades restoration, Florida delivers. Under the Governor's leadership, we've invested a record $8 billion in Everglades restoration and water quality since 2019. That's more than the previous 12 years combined, and we're seeing real, measurable results. Since 2019, 75 restoration projects have been completed, broken ground, or reached key milestones. We're reducing harmful nutrient loads, expanding water storage, and getting meaningful results. On time, under budget, and with strong returns for Florida's taxpayers. Today, we're here to mark the startup of number 76, the C-43 Reservoir. This reservoir will help regulate flows to the Caloosahatchee estuary, reducing damaging discharges during the wet season and providing much needed freshwater flows during the dry season. But C-43 is just one part of a much larger effort. The Comprehensive Everglades Restoration Plan remains our long-term vision. Projects like Biscayne Bay Coastal Wetlands and Picayune Strand are also on track for completion this year, demonstrating that the strategy is working and gaining momentum. Thanks to the Governor and the Legislature's continued commitment, this year's budget includes $1.4 billion to keep the momentum going. These funds will support Everglades restoration, improve water quality, strengthen infrastructure, and enhance resilience across Florida. Florida's economy, our environment, and our communities are deeply connected. By investing in restoration and smart infrastructure, we are securing stronger, more resilient Florida. Thank you, Governor and President, for your leadership in this important work.
All right, we're about to cut a ribbon, but I wanted to announce that we're honored to have the First Lady, Casey DeSantis, here at the event. So glad you could make it. Little known fact, when I interviewed for the job as Executive Director, I went into the Governor's office and I was interviewed by both the First Lady and the Governor, and I wasn't sure who I was working harder to please. So anyway, we're going to move to the ribbon. We do have lunch provided back at the parking lot. I want to thank the Sanibel Captiva Chamber of Commerce for providing lunch to anyone who wants to stay and have lunch. Thank you very much. But if I could get the governing board and the speakers over to this ribbon, we're going to cut it, and after that, turn these pumps on.
temperature that's going to come out the spillway here?